So who is that I that sees all of the thinking? Forget about what's going on in the world right now. Forget about what's going on at work. Forget about what's going on in your relationships. Forget about what your finances look like right now. If you were affected by the government shutdown and maybe you aren't working right now or whatever, forget about all that for just a second and take a second to put all devices down so that you have no distractions and watch your thoughts come and go. And as you watch your thoughts come and go, recognize that you have a space in between those thoughts, in between the words. That's your natural state. That is your true essence beyond all of the suffering that goes on. I'm not going to say that we create all of our own suffering because there is a collective, but the majority of our suffering is caused by our thinking, by the way that we think about the world, about the way that we think things should be. We believe that things need to be a certain way, our relationships need to be a certain way, our finances need to be in order, everything needs to be hunky-dory 24/7, and that's just not life. Problems are going to come up. And you cannot begin to solve any of those problems until you first recognize that you're creating some of that. You are, through your thinking, creating a lot of suffering for yourself. And when we know this, but we still continue in this loop, you have to decide, when is enough enough? When have I had enough suffering? And when am I ready to not suffer anymore? And when you make that decision, you can start doing the work. It takes work to simply sit and watch your thoughts come and go and watch that you have a space in between the words. When you're interacting with people, if you're the type of person that feels like you need to interact or impress, maybe you're at work and you want to impress your boss or your coworkers, but you're doing it at a level that's not of a consciousness and not of the person, the I that is in between those words, you will continue to relive these cycles in your life. No matter where you go, no matter what job that you have, no matter how good things get, you'll continue to live in this cycle. Say you don't like this job and you go to this job, and then you have the same problems at that job because you're still living in the ego. This is why there are people that are in the spiritual community that cannot push past that barrier because they don't find that space. They haven't found that space. So, again, who is the I that recognizes that I have thoughts? If you can recognize that you have all these thoughts, then you cannot be the thought. You could only be the space between the words, the space between the thought. Even if a situation is particularly painful, maybe you're going through something difficult, a relationship problem. Raising kids is hard, especially trying to raise them and be conscious at the same time and have that balance. And if you're still living in that loop and letting the ego consume your consciousness, your relationship with your kids or your spouse is going to suffer because of it. So if I told you to stop thinking right now, could you do it? Could you stop thinking? Could you be the space in between the words? I don't think I have anything else to say. Have a good day.